We dug deep into the analytics, got all the stats, and I want to make you aware that the Golden State Warriors are perfect record, undefeated, when you nearly kill our crew before the game. Will you look to continue that streak prior to Game 6?
Oh, absolutely. Thank God I chose the right sport to play basketball. My soccer skills, Leandro Barbosa's been schooling me with our little pregame routine, but I had a little strong foot on that one. So thankfully nobody got hurt. I don't know who saved the day over there, but crisis averted though.
Crisis averted. Yes, they are okay. So we'll see. We will be watching that closely on Thursday night. Second piece of business here. U.S. Open is here. I know you're firmly focused on an NBA championship, but you've got plenty of those Larry O'Brien trophies. That Wanamaker trophy's floating around. You want to grab that thing?
I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it came out to the West Coast, and I got to see it up close and personal and hold it. So it's I got the golf bug, and we'll, as much as I can, when I'm getting prepared for Game 6 and trying to win a championship, I'll be watching what's happening out of Brookline. But yeah, anytime you're talking about the great tournaments and the majors, and I'm locked in. So to see the Wanamaker in person is pretty special.
All right, so both Draymond and Coach Kerr said they love you coming off the game that you just had the other night. What does that mean in terms of your mind after you go 0 for 9 from 3? What does that mean to be in Steph Curry's head coming into the next game?
Well, one, I just love the fact that when you have a game like that, you look at how few and far between they are, but like you said, how I usually respond in terms of it doesn't ever kill my confidence. It doesn't ever shake my preparation for the next game. It almost lights a fire because you know that the work that you put in will pay off. So obviously I'm not shy to keep shooting, so that won't ever change, and I'm excited that if you can't put together another great game and we can do what we're capable of doing, that it means we can be champs.
Feel more confident in Steph Curry after 0 for 9 from 3 or Game 6 Clay?
Both. Is that a good answer?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, both.
There's no rules. There's no rules to this game. What has it been about your defense the last couple of games that has allowed you guys to string together back-to-back wins?
I mean, going into the series, we knew how great their defense was, and that was a lot of the conversation about, their defense versus our high-octane offense and who's going to win that battle. And that's always a challenge going into these games. But our defense was ranked number 1 for a while. Towards the end of the season, kind of dropped back a little bit, but we have an identity on that floor. Draymond leads the charge. Is just the quarterback of the defense, but a lot of it's just trying to match, or exceed their physicality and energy, especially to start games. Where we've struggled in this series is where we've gotten off to the slow starts, and usually that means they're kind of running around free on their offensive end, and then they don't feel us at all. So if we can set the tone there, usually, you can kind of settle into a game pretty quick. It doesn't necessarily mean, it translates to offense for us, but it gives us a great shot to find our way, especially early in games.
All right, last thing. You got to go back to the Bay either way. But to close it out here on the visiting team's floor, what would that mean to you guys?
All the experiences that we've had, especially in the finals, we understand how hard to close out games are. And when you have that opportunity to do it, you got to take advantage of it, home or road. So, we know how hostile this environment's going to be. We know the fact that there's egos and there's desperation, and that has to be on both sides for us to get the job done. We're not going to be picky about where you celebrate at. It's just, can you get that 4th win? And we have an opportunity to do that in Game 6.
All right, Steph, thanks so much.
But he has been dynamite in elimination games this postseason, and the numbers you see right there, it backs it up. Here he is speaking to the media earlier today.
Question for Jason. First one over here on the right side on 3rd row. Hey, Jason. Jalen was talking about kind of his personal growth throughout the course of the season and postseason. What ways do you think you've grown as a player, a person, a leader throughout the course of the season, postseason?
Yeah, I mean, what ways? I feel like I've grown a lot, just as a all-around player. I think obviously my playmaking has, you know, grown and been better in recent years, and defensively, and just, I feel like this is probably the best season I've had. I go from not making All NBA to being first team, so, there was some growth there.
Steve, over here.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. First, are you keeping that ball away from Draymond?
Oh, like the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my ball.
You brought it. Okay. How hard is it to approach a game where you guys want to concentrate on keeping your turnovers down? Don't turn over the ball. Don't turn over the ball. Does that get in the way of just sort of playing free and easy if you're focused on one area like that?
I don't think so, because I feel like, from watching film, there are a lot of things. There were some frequency turnovers, right? Some situations where we kept getting in the same spot that were causing turnovers. So maybe we can stay away from, jumping in the air and passing it, or, jumping off one leg, and being more under control, while still playing free. We can do both.
On your right, Tim.
You joked the other night that you guys don't put yourselves in these positions on purpose throughout the playoffs, and Ime's kind of in a similar vein, jokingly said a few times that you guys kind of have to make it hard on yourselves, it seems like, to get where you want to go the way things have gone. What do you think has kind of led to you guys repeatedly being in the situations of what have you learned about yourselves as a group and the way you've been able to persevere through them so far?
I think just how we respond. It hasn't been easy. It's been extremely tough. We've had some tough losses. Losing Game 5 against Milwaukee, was extremely tough. Just knowing that we had to win two, go on the road, and losing Game 6 against the Heat was extremely tough. But in those moments we just responded. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think just our will to want to win. Just trying to figure it out.
I don't know, it's a different team and obviously a different location, but do you draw anything from that Game 6 against Milwaukee going into tomorrow, given the situation and the opponent and everything then? Obviously defending champions, these guys have been in there before. Is any of that part of your thought process over the next 24 hours?
I think my thought process is, and as it was in that game and Game 7 and Game 7 against the Heat, it was just do whatever it takes to win. And that can look different from game to game. But we won all those games, and I felt like myself and everybody else did whatever it took. And that's the mindset you got to have going into tomorrow, and then hopefully a Game 7.
Adam.
Jason, kind of along those lines, what's your source of optimism entering this game and kind of for the rest of this series, knowing you've been in tough spots before, whether it be earlier in these playoffs or way back in January? How do you guys kind of step back and look at the bigger picture and say that what you want is still in front of you?
Because it is. Right? It's the first to 4, so it's like it's not over with. So as long as it's not over with, you got a chance. And I think having done it before, should give you even more confidence that you can. Not that it's going to be easy or it's going to be given to us, but you should be extremely confident as long as you got a chance. And we got a chance tomorrow.
On your right, Gary.
Gary Washington, Boston Globe. Jason, obviously the NBA championship trophy is going to be there. You don't want them celebrating on your floor. You don't want them partying later on that night in Boston and all that. Is it up to you, Marcus, Jalen, Ime, to get everybody on collective, like, of how important this game is? I mean, do you need to be more vocal, or is it just kind of collectively assumed? Or, I mean, how do the emotions before a game like this differ from a normal game?
We are professionals and adults. We know it's at stake, and everybody in that locker room, should and is going to understand, what we got to do and what's on the line. So it shouldn't take a hero speech or anything like that. Everybody should be juiced up and ready to play. You know, and I'm not even gonna say if they not, it's a problem. Like everybody's gonna be ready to play. I'm not worried about that at all.
David Aldridge in the Georgia Center.
Hey, Jason, I know you guys had very difficult series with Milwaukee, very difficult series with Miami. Does this feel different from the mental aspect of having to guard a team as experienced as Golden State, and conversely, having to score against a team that defends as well as Golden State? It's kind of like a mirror image of yourself in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team, and they present different challenges than Milwaukee and Miami. You know, I think that's just part of the playoffs, adjusting to different teams and the different challenges that they, you know, give you, and you got to adjust pretty quickly. You know, moving from series to series, and this is no different. So, you know, it's a challenge nonetheless. It's just a different one compared to playing Milwaukee and Miami.
Front right.
Hey, Jason. From a minute standpoint, you mentioned at the end of Game 5.